Silent Juliet Sierra Tango 111 tree. A ramp is on its way. Ground. Silent Juliet Sierra Tango 111 tree. Requesting pushback. Silent Juliet Sierra Tango 111 tree. Requesting pushback tug to steer the aircraft to the left. Silent Juliet Sierra Tango 111 tree. Your request has been transmitted to the operator. Silent Juliet Sierra Tango 111 tree. Requesting the end of pushback. Silent Juliet Sierra Tango 111 tree. Request to end pushback received. Ground. Silent Juliet Sierra Tango 111 tree. Request taxi for departure to the south with India.
Right, looks like we're ready to go. Lights on. Yes. Flap set. Yes. Let's see here. Altitude set. Yes. Heading we will deal with. Speed set. Yep. Now let's see if this plane will play games with us or not. Let's see. Everything down there set. Do you want to change? I'll do it once we're in the air. Whatever that once we're in there. Right, let's go. We've got clearance. Brakes off. A little bit of power. So I am using actual rudder pedals, Crossmasters, which makes this so immersive, as you can probably imagine. I will say aviation pilots make it look easy, driving on the road using two pedals and then having to push the pedals in the wrong direction for what your brain would want you to do it. So to go left, you got to kind of pedal right. To hit the brakes, you got to kind of press down on them. Flaps are set, yeah. Slow it down a little bit. Bring that speed down. But I'm not gonna lie, the Hotas 4 has brought this game to life even more than it already would have been alive. Because I understand a lot of people say that this game is extremely good using the control pad. But I wouldn't know because I've never tried it with the control pad. I literally bought the Hotas 4 joystick before the game came out. So I was prepared. Nice, GPWS. That's on GPS, is it not? But as I say, I've been having a few problems with this plane, i.e. it not following the nav that I've put in. So the flight path we've put in, it usually just wants to do its own thing. I found a workaround with that, which is to just, instead of allowing it to go nav mode, I go via my heading, and I just use the heading switch to get to my destination whilst looking at that line. But let's see if autopilot, or should I say the flight plan, is recognized by the autopilot this time. So we've got an hour and 40-minute flight ahead of us, flying up to Abu Dhabi, flying a few wealthies to go see the Formula One final race. Because I can guarantee you there's probably a flight doing this right now. Go Lando Norris. But yeah, for anybody who's maybe thinking of getting the game or thinking to yourself, there's no way Microsoft game is going to run that well on a PlayStation network. Guys, I'm telling you, if you like avionics under any circumstances, or you've always had it in the back of your mind, oh, you know, I think it would be quite cool to fly planes. This game is out of this world. I mean that quite literally. It's everything you probably would think an avionics game should be. You can have it as difficult as you want, or you can have it as easy as you want. I've kind of got it in the middle, so I've got like not many settings, like help settings turned on for the planes due to having the joystick and the rudder pedals. But you can have it on where you've got the help for all of that, where the computer does all the work. All you got to do is pull back on your control pad and level out and turn on your autopilot. You could fly it like that, or you could fly it like the professionals, where everything's switched on, where you got to, put in your rudder inputs and put in your trim. The only thing I've got switched off for me is the trim. So the computer's doing the trim for me, but everything else I'm doing rudders, high altitude turning, etc., etc. Brakes. Is this us? Take a nice right here, some nice Qatar Airways over there. Lovely. You'll see me do that from time to time. Clearly, I want it to go right. I end up swinging it left. I'm still trying to get my muscle memory right with these rudder pedals. I need to remember the way that I think I need to go is the complete opposite way that I actually need to go. Trying to get the muscle memory right. I've only got a total of 20, well, it'll be 23 hours now of flying time total on the game, which isn't very much. It's literally taken me that long to work in unison with the autopilot. 1998 was a long time ago, guys. If you read the title, you know exactly what I mean when I say 1998 was a long time ago. But yeah, for even gamers who ain't interested in Flight Simulator, it literally is. What a time to be alive. You got Microsoft and PlayStation working together in order to get their products out. And a lot of people
GPWS available.
believe or don't understand why that happened. We had a pandemic. Countries got obliterated financially, not just your regular person. They had to make that money back somehow. Why not merge? Make simple business sense. Companies lost more money in the middle of that pandemic than they probably would have done for like decades, and it would have taken a lot for them to lose that kind of money. So here we are. We get Microsoft Flight Simulator on PlayStation. The first thing you see when you power this game up on your PlayStation is Xbox Studios. What a time to be alive. Alrighty. Few frame drops when you're on the ground here. Don't worry, the frames pick up really well once you're in the sky. feet. Set. 220 knots. Set. Flat. Set. Landing lights. Set.
Tower, Silent Juliet, Sierra Tango, 111 tree at runway 15, left ready for departure. Departure to the south. Silent Juliet, Sierra. Cleared for takeoff runway 15 left. Silent Juliet Sierra Tango
And
111 tree.
just a word of advice for any new flyers: make sure you have all of this set up before you get in the sky, so that once you're in the sky, you turn on autopilot and it can take over. You don't need to turn on autopilot, then set your settings and lose your altitude because you're trying to do too many things at once. Just make sure all of this is set up and ready to go. So as you're in the air, you hit the trigger for the autopilot and you are on your way. Flight director's on. Beautiful. Heading off. Set that to the way that we are facing now.
GPWS available.
Thank you much. Get off of that. Right, we are good to go, I believe. Yes. Alrighty. Get myself the view that I want, which is that. Right. Let's get out of here. Let's go to Abu Dhabi, shall we? Before the Formula One race starts. There we are. Right. %. Stable. Full power. Nice. My airspeed is frozen on the screen. Beautiful. Instant problems. I'll work around that. It's fine. Positive rate. Up she goes. Flaps up. Gear up. And we are flying, gentlemen. Flaps all the way up. Lovely job there.
Tower, Silent Juliet Sierra Tango.
Bit of a crosswind.
111 tree.
Bring
Continue for south
back the
departure.
power a bit.
GPWS available.
Silent Juliet Sierra Tango 111 tree. Leaving my airspace. Frequency change approved.
As we make our turn in, it's annoying because I can't see how fast we're going. Because as you can see, the screen is broken. So we're going to have to do a bit of guesswork here. Still flying the plane manually. Nice and easy on the stick. We'll have a look outside in a second. Let's just get the flying out of the way.
Tower, Silent Juliet Sierra Tango 111 tree. Frequency change.
Autopilot on. VS on, which is virtual speed. We'll climb up that. Auto throttle isn't on yet. That on. Now let's see what happens when we press are you going to play ball or no? That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. No, you're not doing what I'm asking you to do, which is to climb. Thank you much. At 1,000 feet per second. Thank you much. Let's see what's the heading look like. Lovely. We seem to be following the line. Beautiful. So right now we are going to be, if we look at the computer here, we will see we are climbing at 1,000 feet per minute. As you can see there on the blue line, we are going to 20,000 feet. That's set. As you can see there, we are climbing nicely. Don't know what's going on with the speed gauge. Didn't have that problem yesterday, but here we are. Of course, you start to stream, something breaks, of course. So we're doing a bit of guesswork with our speed. I have no idea how fast I'm going, but I'm guessing we're okay because there's no panic alarms going off in the plane, so that's helpful. That says 80. I do hope we're not doing 80 because that would be really bad. So I'm going to set this again to 220 knot, 25 knot. Thank you much. And then we will press that to make sure we don't climb too high, which hasn't worked out very well. Okay, so back to this. Back to virtual speed. Up we go, we need to keep climbing, and we will climb 1,100 feet per minute. It seems to be following the GPS. Seems to be. And you might be wondering, how do you know that you're even going the right way? So I'm using multiple things, if I'm honest. I'm using the compass on the top left-hand screen with the pink line in the middle. That's our direction where we're supposed to go. I'm using my GPS nav screen. So the pink line here in that circle compass, that's also showing me which direction I'm supposed to be going in. And as you see there, DTK, 90 degrees. Our actual direction is 93, so we're going in relatively the right direction. And autopilot is on. Virtual speed is on. Altitude is set. 1,000 feet per minute. Altitude set to 20,000 feet. And we are on our way. One thing I did forget to do was clean the lights up. Don't need those anymore. That's all fine. Fine, that's fine, that's fine. And yes, now we are flying. I did want to turn on the radar that tells me there's traffic, but I'm not too sure what button it is. Oh. Aha, that's what I was after. But it's not changing anything. Oh, so I can't change anything on the map on this plane. Now that's interesting, Microsoft. That's interesting. So basically the screen that we got here, you can't change anything on it. It is the way it is. Okay, I'll take that. There's enough information here. I did want to see... Oh, it's got it. Is that TCAS? Yeah, TCAS is there. So basically, this blank screen here, if you didn't know, this side here that I'm just looking at, this will show me where traffic is. If there's any other planes around us. There's one there, that blue one, and there's one out there, I do believe. That's what it's showing. I'm still learning too. So there's our speed there. That can't be the true speed. We're not doing 453 knots. It can't be. The plane would be going crazy. I'm comfortable. The only thing that's a bit daunting is I don't know what my speed is, which isn't great. Again, I didn't have this problem last night. In fact, I did a flight in this last night and it was quite smooth, apart from autopilot not following my GPS, which it seems to be doing now. But today I've got a different problem. I can't see my speed. What would I prefer, seeing my speed or GPS working? Seeing my speed. The GPS is a workaround using the heading. But it's all good. We're on our way. Yeah. Show you guys outside. Pressed the wrong button there for a second. Let me just make sure I didn't turn anything off. That would be a whoopsie. Nope, we're good. If you're wondering how is it climbing to altitude, and I've got the altitude off, so basically what I'm using is the vertical speed director, which basically tells the plane which way I want it to go, up or down. And I've got it set.
Center, Silent Juliet Sierra Tango, 111 tree, is type Cessna C700, 25 miles southeast of Oscar Echo Papa Charlie, 12,000. Request flight following. Silent Juliet Sierra Tango, 111 tree, Jetta Center. Squawk 7 tree 01. Squawk 7 tree 01. Silent Juliet Sierra Tango, 111 tree.
So the reason why it's climbing, I've got it set to 20,000 feet, and the plane, once it gets to that descent of 20,000 feet, the autopilot will automatically...
Silent Juliet Sierra Tango, 111 tree. Radar contact 24 miles southwest of Oscar Echo Kilo Romeo, 13,100. QNH 1022.
Autopilot will automatically switch itself to altitude
Roger.
and hold.
Silent Juliet Sierra Tango, 111 tree.
A lot of my muscle memory is coming back to me. The last time I did a flight on in any virtual way was quite literally 22 years ago, maybe longer than that, when we had a PC in the house. And then PlayStation made PlayStation 1, and I never looked back. Never got a PC again, never upgraded, just stayed with console, just hoping and wishing Flight Simulator would come to PlayStation and American Truck Simulator would come to PlayStation. And lo and behold, we have a pandemic, companies struggle, and I get my gift of having Microsoft games on PlayStation. What a time to be alive. Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, this is how the other half travel. That's how they travel. Okay, so that beep is telling me that we are approaching our top of descent, which at the moment is 20,000 feet. Um, no, that's not good. My altitude is 20,000 feet, but I want to keep going. We can get up to as high as 41 is what it said, but I don't see us getting to that high. I'll go to 34 for the purpose of this flight. See, we're at 20,000 feet. And as you can see, we've stabilized off, just to give you an idea of what I was talking about before. If anyone just joining, Abu Dhabi is our destination from Ryder. We're just bringing a few wealthies over to the Formula One race. Right, so let's continue our ascent to our final flying height, which will be 34,000. Even though my flight plan said 41. We'll go at 1,000 feet per minute. 60 knots, and we are in business. Yes, sir. Yes. Good. We'll continue our climb to 34,000 feet. Like I said, the flight plan had us going to 41. At least we're near the line in some form of way. As you can see, that's our flight plan, kind of being followed by the plane. Well enough, I suppose. We've got quite a ways to go. Once we get closer, we'll start thinking about our descent. Looks like we're going straight in over the city. Beautiful. That's going to be a nice landing. Yep, with one vectors there, brings us round beautifully into runway 31. Oh yeah, that looks like that's going to be nice, that is, because we're going to go straight in over the main town of Abu Dhabi itself, so we might even fly over the racetrack. If I get my Google Earth up on my tablet, I'm sure the racetrack is around this airport. So we may even fly over the racetrack itself. It's around there somewhere anyways. So we'll start to drop our height. I need to pick a place. Suppose when we get to OMXIV Oscar Mike X-ray India Vicky. Right, nice. Okay. So when I get to around there, that's when I need to think about my top of descent realistically. Maybe a bit closer. We shall see. We're a few miles off that yet. Beautiful. This is such a cool game to play. It's so peaceful, it's so calming, it's exactly what you would imagine it to be once you're airborne. Can it be a bit stressful? Of course. But that's all part of the action. That's all a part of the experience. Don't know why we've got LAX up. That can go. Don't need that. Thank you, PlayStation. Thank you, Microsoft, for working together. You never thought you would,
Silent Juliet Sierra
but the
Tango
pandemic forced your hand, and I'm kind of glad it did, because here we are.
1126.7. Good day. Going to 126.7. Silent Juliet Sierra Tango 111 tree.
Fuel is good. We're at 50% fuel. Engine seems to be fine. Yes, yes, yes. I still don't know how fast I'm going. So anyone who's just tuning in now or you've skipped forward, yesterday this plane wouldn't follow the GPS on autopilot. I had to do the whole entire flight using my heading, which was fine. Today, GPS seems to be working relatively okay, but now we have no speed indicator. So this whole flight, we're kind of guesstimating and hoping that the autopilot is following my true speed of 260 knots. My guess is it is. Otherwise, we would have alarms driving us crazy by now of overspeed, at the very least, or stall. And we have neither. So my guess is the plane is happy with what it's doing. And if it's happy, I'm happy. One thing I have noticed since having this PlayStation version, for some reason, my passengers don't seem to load into the plane, which I know is a thing that they do. But I have all the weight on board, but no passengers. I can promise you, I did load them in, but they're just not here. The life of the uber rich. No, nobody is crying child. Nobody with a cold sitting next to you, sneezing, giving you some form of disease you don't even know about. Just sit down, peaceful, with a coffee or whatever it is you want, because it's your plane. Imagine that life. And if you're wondering how I'm moving around, holding down L1 and moving around with the left D-pad so it almost becomes like a first-person shooter. As long as you're holding down L1, just think of it as a first-person shooter, and then you just move around your cabin, trigger buttons, R2, L2 to move yourself up and down. That's the best way that my muscle memory is allowing me to remember what the buttons are if I implement little things like that. So, for example, as I said, hold L1, it becomes a first-person shooter. Those little things will help, because I'm telling you guys now who don't have the game but you're planning to, there is so much for your brain to remember. There is so much to remember. So you have little nuances for yourself for you to recognize and remember what things do or what things are. The only buttons I've changed is I hold triangle and press left or right on the D-pad to zoom in and out really quickly. I got that from. I have to actually give him a shout out because his YouTube channel has helped me out tremendously. I got that idea from a channel called Cowtown. If you're ever in any problems with this game, go over to his channel, Cowtown. He's called. Amazing information on how to fly the plane, how to do all your setups, etc., etc. Like I said, my idea of holding triangle and pressing right to zoom in and left to zoom out, that's from Cowtown. It's a wonderful idea. So yeah, big shout outs to him. $32,000 feet. So we're getting close to our top of descent, which is 33. So let me get back to the cockpit, handle a bit of business, which will be, what was the business? The business is, oh yes, bring our airspeed down a bit, and we'll go to 250. Hopefully the plane's even doing that, I don't know. I assume it is because I can hear the engines fluttering here and there. It's not great not having any airspeed, but I trust that we're doing the right stuff. Again, that beep is telling me that we are approaching our top of... Yeah, we're reaching the top of our altitude now, so we're getting there. So this is. Sometimes I get lost for words on how great I think this is. This is literally almost a gaming dream come true for me. It literally is. Something I always dreamed would happen, but never thought it would. And here we are on PlayStation playing Microsoft Flight Simulator. Holy. And I tell you what's the best thing about this? Unlike Forza, which came to PlayStation, with Microsoft Flight Simulator on PlayStation, you don't have to have a Microsoft account. What a nightmare that was with Forza, because half the time the accounts wouldn't work anyway. I'm so grateful we don't have to have a Microsoft account to play this game. It's straight off of your PlayStation account, running off of PlayStation database only. What a wonderful thing that was. I think they realized with the Forza and PlayStation connection, making us have a Microsoft account made no sense. It just didn't work. I had to restart my Forza Horizon campaign twice with a new account on my PlayStation because the Microsoft account and PlayStation accounts just wouldn't merge. It was a silly idea to do it like that. But I'm glad they didn't do it like that with this game because that would be a nightmare for your account to not merge one day and you lose all of your progress in a game like this. Can you imagine all the flying hours that you would have to put into this game to go and lose it because your account don't merge? That would be a disaster, to say the least. But yep, back on track. We are now cruising at 34,000, even though they wanted us at 41. I'm sure I can still get to that 41, so let's do it. Let's go to what was our assigned altitude, which was 41,000 feet. So we can do that. Hit speed indicator, and we will start to climb at 900 feet, 1,001 a second. We will go for the airspeed back up to 165 to make sure that we don't upset this plane. Lovely. Getting a bit high up in the seat there. Down there. Oopsie daisy, don't want to do that. How about we press that button? There you go. Another thing that I would give advice on is whenever you are going to move around your plane or whatever it is you're going to do, make sure you're doing the right thing before you do it. So for example, I wanted to move around. I need to make sure I'm holding L1 before I start moving around. Because otherwise you're going to do something you didn't want to and probably destroy your flight, which I've done on more than one occasion already, where I've done something I don't know what I've done and the plane just starts falling out the sky. And all I wanted to do was move around. So yeah, just be aware of what buttons you're pressing before you start pressing them. And in case you was wondering, I am on a normal PlayStation. This is not the PlayStation Pro. So for anyone who is on normal PlayStation, this works like a dream. I've been watching a lot of people play on the PlayStation Pro, and I can tell you the only differences I can see between PlayStation and PlayStation Pro is the loading times between when you're setting up your flight and you're going into the actual flight. So the loading time is probably a split second, and I do mean a split second quicker And also, when you're looking at your planes, when you're loading some of the Boeings and some of the 747s, and you're looking at the liveries, the PlayStation Pro is a lot more quicker in that aspect. But as far as the feel for the game, the look of the game, the sound of the game, the textures of the game, I don't see any differences. Not a $400, a £350 difference, which is what the price difference is between a PlayStation 5 and a PlayStation 5 Pro. If you're looking to get a Pro just because of the graphics, I suppose if you don't own a PlayStation, fair enough, go to the top of the tree. Why not? But if you already have a PlayStation 5 and you're like, maybe I should get a Pro to try and enhance what I'm looking at, no. It's not worth the price jump. Like, believe me, guys, it's not worth the price jump. Maybe I'm seeing a little bit more better because I'm on 4K TV, but I would assume 1080p looks just fine on the PS5, to be fair. Um, I don't see too much of a difference between the Pro and the normal, apart from loading times and maybe, deliveries that you're trying to see during the selection menu might not load as quickly, but who cares? You see, that's a great example of what I was saying about making sure you know what button you're pressing. So what I was supposed to do just then is bring this up while we was sitting in that seat, but I pressed the wrong button, which has put me back into the pilot seat. So be careful, guys, of what buttons you're pressing. What is that noise? Whoa, whoa, what's going on here? Whoa, 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 whoa. Something's gone wrong here. What's going on? What's that noise? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, let's drop it down a bit. Down, 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 down. Down, down, down. What the fuck? What's happened? Alright, bring it down. I'm gonna write it down.
GPWS available.
Turn that off. Turn that on. Whoa, 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 whoa. And as you can see, things just go left really quickly for no reason. Down we go, down we go. Let's get out of this altitude. Down we go, down we go. And we will sit at 37. It didn't have no problem at that height. Down you go, down you go, down you go. Whoa. Right, down you go further. Just down you go further. 35. Whoa, 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 whoa. What the hell? Something's wrong here. Right. Autopilot off. Let me control this. That also helps.
Autopilot.
Let's bring this down a bit. Let's go down. Let's drop down our height a little bit. Let's control this plane, shall we? Way, it's a bit windy. Down we go. All right. Autopilot engaged. Hopefully now we're a bit more happier. So anything above 30, whoa, what's it doing? Okay, we're settling on 35,000. We are not going higher than that. Wow, now my screens have gone completely. Now, I don't know if that was, I don't know what that was. Was that the sim playing up because the plane don't work properly, clearly, with no speed indicator? Or was that something I did wrong? All I was doing was looking at the map, guys, as you saw. So I don't know what happened there. But we seem to be back under control. It seems maybe this plane don't like flying higher than 38,000 feet. Fair enough. We'll stay at 35. Airspeed, bring that down. Okay, we seem to be back in business. The worst thing you could do in a situation like that is panic. So you just gotta think, what do I have to do here? The first thing I did was try to level it out using an autopilot. Autopilot's not working in leveling out the plane.
available.
Then the best thing to do in a situation like that is take control of the plane. Just take control of it. That way the plane will do what you want it to do, in theory, as opposed to what the autopilot is asking it to do. So now I think we're good. Yeah, we're at 35,000. We seem to be all right speed-wise. Okay. ETA. According to... Wait a second. Where are we? Oh, wow. Okay. We're a lot more further along than I thought we was. Okay. No wonder why it says we've got about 20 minutes worth of flying time. Okay, so it is time to start dropping our rate of climb now anyway. Alrighty. Press that, hold that, and move that. Let's do that then. We'll start coming down a little bit. Reduce our speed to 220 knots. Drop down to 18,000 feet. We'll turn altitude off, speed on, and we will let the plane know we want to drop down at 1,000 feet per minute. Nav seems to be working okay. We're not exactly on the line, but we're following the line, which is all I could ask for at this point. We will reset the heading so that it's facing the same way that we are. Always reset that heading, guys. You might wonder why, because if, for example, you suddenly find yourself going in a complete wrong direction, but you're trying to set up other parts of the plane, but you want to be going in the right direction, if you make sure that your heading is synchronized to the way that you're facing, whenever you're ready to use it, you shouldn't have to swivel it left or right for too long, because it will already be set in the position that you're facing. Just a little helpful tip there for anyone who might struggle to fly, which is understandable. That's not dropping fast enough. We need to drop quicker than that. So we'll go at second one. crazy. And we're up to 10 knots. 5 knots. They seem to be following quite well. But from what I just saw, we have around, what did that just say? Oh no, that wasn't what I was looking at. What was I looking at? Hold on. I was looking at, oh yes, I was looking at the main screen. Down here. There it is. There's the real time, 7:28, which is real time. And where did I see? Aha, there I saw it. And there's the estimated arrival. There it is, 8 o'clock. So you see, 8:09 is the time we're expected to arrive. And it is currently, so that tells me we are landing in the next 20 minutes. We really need to get out of the sky. We need to drop quite quickly. It might take us to full. By the time I use that again, we'll be way below 10,000 feet. So that's that low. CDI. We literally can't do no more than what we're doing. We're dropping at a decent pace. We drop any further than that, our airspeed's just going to speed up too much. I may start using heading as opposed to GPS just to get us at a decent angle. I'm not too sure yet. Fun fact. Before I tell you the fun fact, let me just make sure it's actually accurate before I say what the fun fact is. So yeah, 83 years ago, I think it is, today, in 1941, Pearl Harbor happened. Fun fact for your Sunday morning. I believe it's 83 years, maybe 84 years ago. Whenever 1941 was, I'm assuming 85 years, thereabouts. Today was the day when Pearl Harbor happened, and the Japanese basically signed their own death certificates for their citizens. Fun fact, Pearl Harbor happened today, 85 years ago. And with that being a fun fact, I may fly past Pearl Harbor today. Why not? In a helicopter or something so we can get a good view of what the harbor looks like. I'm landing this, I'm going short. We're going shop soon.
TWS available.
Looking on flight away to see what altitude are these two guys at. And they are both at, one's at 13,000, one's at 11,000. So we are close to where we're supposed to be. We're at 18,000 feet. So we're kind of close to the height that we need to be for the distance that we're at from the airport. So that's not too bad. That's not gone too badly. Could have been worse. I'm glad I started my descent when I did, because that could have been worse. Where have we got it dropping down to? Yeah, that would do. $8,500. That'd do. Then we can bring her in nice and hopefully bring her in nice and gently. That's the idea. Very, very busy airspace. I'm currently using flight radar, which is what I'm using right now. It is extremely busy. Got the US Navy. In theory, I should see that plane on this map. But I don't. There's a military plane flying in this area here. Where is it? Yeah, he's just come off here at 17,000. Where are we? 15,000. So he's right near us. Interesting. It's working out very well for us. So as you can see, PS5 to PS5 Pro, no difference. Look at it. Beautiful. Look at this. No complaints from me. Surely we're supposed to get in touch with Tower by now, no?
Emirates Center, Silent Juliet, Sierra Tango, 111 tree, 13,500. Silent Juliet, Sierra Tango, 111 tree, Emirates Center, QNH 1020, radar contact, continue. Emirates Center, Silent Juliet, Sierra Tango, 111 tree, Request clearance to transition Charlie airspace. Silent Juliet Sierra Tango, 111 tree, Emirates Center. Cleared through the Charlie airspace. Cleared through Charlie airspace. Silent Juliet Sierra Tango, 111 tree.
Nice. We're now at 10,000 feet, which is well within range for where all the planes are around us at this point of their flight. Because we are near, I don't even want to butcher the names of these areas. Al Jarab, I think that says. We're flying currently over that from what I can see. Yes, we are.
Silent Juliet Sierra Tango, 111 tree. Contact approach on 124.4. Good day. 124.4. Silent Juliet Sierra Tango, 111 tree.
I think I might switch the heading now. Because I don't. Where are we heading?
GPWS available.
Aim for Gapella and then make a strong turn to the left towards base. Should be nothing quite nice. So yeah, we need to start looking at our altitude quite a bit now. Let's prepare for landing, shall we? Let's get our lights on. Otherwise we're just going to end up forgetting. We won't need that as yet. Landing lights on. Let's choose set to 5,000 feet. Speed set to 170. There you go, there is Abu Dhabi, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. There you go, we'll put airport names on. That's where I was supposed to be coming in from, but there's the airport over yonder somewhere. Nice. We are very close now. Very, very close. (4,500 feet), and we will start our turn shortly. There's the airport. Beautiful.
GPWS available.
We are about to land, so let's do it. No, 1, 2. No. 'Hopefully the co-pilot contacts them. Right, we can start our turn now. We will go to heading. And start our turn towards base. Thank you much. Yeah, this is nice. This is nice. This is nice. $5,000 feet. Check. Lovely. I am right where I want to be. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. As soon as I see that say base is what we're heading towards, I will be taking over. And start dropping altitude. Yep, we are. Whoa. Okay, so the plane is following it. It would seem.
Autopilot.
Whoa.
Abu Dhabi Tower. Silent Juliet Sierra Tango 111 tree is 4 miles south. 4900 with Echo to land.
And that's how quickly things go left.
Silent Juliet Sierra Tango 111 tree. Abu Dhabi Tower. QNH 1019er. Enter left base runway tree 1 left.
And this is where we're supposed to be. What happened there? Only they can tell you, because I don't know.
Sierra Tango 111 tree. Did you
We've
copy?
put ourselves on final.
GPWS available.
That was the only part that I would say that was my fault with that is the fact that I probably should have turned off
Sierra Tango 111 tree. Did you copy?
autopilot sooner. Damn it. Yes, I did copy. Thank you very much.
Fly left base runway, tree, 1 left. Silent Juliet, Sierra Tango, 111 tree.
Silent Juliet Sierra Tango 111 tree. Wind 028 at 8. Clear to land runway tree 1 left.
Autopilot.
No, not. What do you...
Autopilot. Autopilot. Autopilot.
Silent Juliet Sierra Tango 111 tree. Did you copy?
Yes, I did, but it's not letting me.
Silent Juliet Sierra Tango 111 tree.
Very annoying when you're
ATC services terminated.
trying to climb. Goodbye. Trying to climb, trying to talk to ATC, it's just not working out. So what we'll do is we'll clear that, concentrate on the landing, and try to get this on the ground. Let's get them wheels down.
Sync rate. Terrain. Terrain.
Full up. Full up. Full up. Full up. Full up. Full up.
I ain't got no flaps. Flaps ain't working.
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear.
Landing gear down, landing gear down.
Landing gear.
Missed approach due to inconsistencies with the plane. Landing gear should be down, is it not?
Landing gear.
Yes, it is.
30-20.
Terrain.
We'll go it down. Well, that was terrible. Everything possible that could go wrong in a landing went wrong. But welcome to Abu Dhabi. We are here. Everything that could possibly go wrong with that landing happened. I'ma just make that very, very clear. Wonderful.
Ground, Silent Juliet, Sierra Tango, 111 tree. Request taxi to parking. Silent Juliet, Sierra Tango, 111 tree. Taxi to general aviation parking. Taxiing to general aviation parking. Silent Juliet, Sierra Tango, 111 tree.
Which is where okay, we're just gonna take it upon ourselves to park anyway. Let's see if it gives us a better
Silent Juliet, Sierra Tango, 111 tree. Request taxi to parking.
Silent Juliet, Sierra Tango, 111 tree. Taxi to general aviation parking via taxiway Echo Tree Echo.
That's better.
Taxiing to general aviation parking using taxiway Echo Tree Echo. Silent Juliet,
Sure.
Sierra Tango,
No takeoff.
111 tree.
No takeoff.
Landing lights off, taxi lights on. Yeah, so everything that could go wrong during a landing is what happened there, ladies and gentlemen. I couldn't open the communications with ATC. I didn't turn off the autopilot soon enough before it just started to go crazy in the hold pattern. Multiple things went wrong during that landing. But I'm just glad that we're able to get a flight done in a way, because you'll notice when you first start playing this game, completing flights get quite difficult because something happens, and because we're novices, we don't know if something went wrong because of something we did, or did something go wrong because the sim is playing up, because there are a lot of issues with this sim. Certain planes, the throttle on my thrustmaster don't work properly. It just cuts out mid-flight, or during landing the thrustmaster will just cut out. You'll have defects to how the plane handles, which again is down to the sim and not necessarily the pilot. But again, because we're novices, we don't know, is that something we did wrong, or was that something the game did wrong? In the case of what just happened to me, I'm going to put that down to 50-50. 50% I think I should have turned off the autopilot much sooner, and the other 50% I believe the computer was messing around. The sim just got into a holding pattern and started to nosedive the plane, which I'm quite sure isn't a part of the idea. But yes, gentlemen and ladies, here we are, Abu Dhabi, dropping the wealthies off to what is basically the final Formula One race. The flight took us an hour and a half, which was good. Landed with 46% of fuel left, so that's definitely had more than enough reserves for any mishaps, which eventually did happen. But having more fuel wouldn't have helped in that situation anyway. Quite the opposite. Let's clean all of this up as well. Off. Respect to norms. Whoa. Where's it gone? Where's my line gone? Thank you. yes, I am using my foot rudder pedals to steer the plane, by the way. Using my rudders to brake and all that good stuff. Hopefully we're near our gate. The only thing with airports of this size, sometimes the taxiing can be as long as the flight. There. Another private jet right here. Nice. I'm just glad that this plane works to some degree. I do love flying these private planes. They're so like agile, they're fast. Their fuel consumption is really great. You never have to worry about running out of fuel when you're flying these things. Love it. One mishap in a almost 2-hour flight. Not bad for an amateur. Which I am. Not bad at all. Very enjoyable. Brakes on. No, that's not brakes. That's brakes on. Let's request deboarding. Can say boarding if you want, but we know what we're doing.
Sierra Tango,
Goodbye.
111 tree. Could you please get the passengers on board?
Silent Juliet Sierra Tango 111 tree. A ramp is on its way.
If the door is open, engine shut down. Leave the aircraft. And that, my friend, is a flight from Riyadh to Abu Dhabi for the final Formula One Grand Prix. That is how it's done, to a certain extent.